You're one of the biggest bands in the UK. There's no love lost between you and one of the other top bands. Perhaps you've called each other names in the press a few times, had the odd scuffle at award shows, but what's new? I'm sure back in the Stone Age the cavemen divided themselves into those who liked the sound of grunting and those who preferred a stick bang against the cave wall. It's day one, lesson one at Rock and Roll High School. Chapter 1, Beatles versus Stones. But this isn't the Neolithic era, or the 60s, this is the summer of 1995, and playground talks and the music press aren't cutting it anymore. The enemy is struck, and you need to make your move. Until now, your two record companies have been operating under an agreement. The album and single releases of the two bands would be staggered to ensure optimum sales all round. But you've just found out that some double dealing had occurred, and their latest hotly awaited single is now due for release just 1 week before yours. So what do? Do you delay the release of your own record, wait for the fuss to die down, and then launch your own counter-attack? Do you risk being called a yellow-bellied no-good coward? No. You stand up and fight, bringing your release date forward to the same day, declaring all-out war. Perhaps it was a slow month in the press, but the Blur versus Oasis single release standoff reached the headlines in every newspaper, and the battle for the #1 spot was even reported on the 10 o'clock news. The press pitched it as a battle between North and South, working-class rocker versus middle-class art students. You had to pick a side. It was about more than which of the two slightly under-par songs you preferred. It was a matter of pride and principles. The country is divided, and sales of both singles go through the roof. So who won? Well, Blur's Country House sold 274,000 copies to Oasis's 216,000 of Roll With It, so technically Blur, but the Oasis fan would never admit it, and I doubt the accountants were too bothered either. Oasis versus Blur, Britney versus Christina, Kanye versus 50 Cent. If you want fame, making the right friends is important, but not as important as making the right enemies.